All right, in this episode, we talk about what D1 schools are looking for in pitchers.
Especially short pitchers.
All right, Brent Porcio, Stephen Godani here at the @TopVelocity #PitchingTips Show, where you go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and @TopVelocity #PitchingTips. You ask your question on anything on pitching or anything we do here at Top Velocity, and we answer it on the show. And I'd like to ask if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. You could like this page on Facebook, share this video, retweet, whatever. Help us get it out there. Ask your questions as well. We love to keep this going. We're having a really good time the show, and we hope we're putting out a lot of good information for you guys. So what's the question for today?
First Golden King asks, what does D1 colleges look for in a pitcher, especially short pitchers?
All right, it's a good question. My experience didn't personally play D1 because I tore my rotator cuff at a JUCO, but the pitchers that I've gotten into D1s, and it's right up front, the reason we got them into D1s through 3X pitching was their velocity went up pretty high, right? So we went from the 80s to the 90s. So that would be a big thing, right? Obviously what we do here is we work to get as high as we can. D1s are gonna be looking somewhere obviously in the 90s to start. Higher 90s would be even better if that's what we can do. So the harder you can throw is gonna be the better for that. At the same time too, you gotta understand velocity is how it works. So it's not like if you go out to a showcase or you go out to throw and you have D1 scouts there and they see you throw 95, well, that's going to be great to draw their interest. But what's going to happen is they're going to want to see it again and again and again and again and again and again. It's got to be something where it's proven consistent for them. So the next time they go see you, if you're throwing 89, that's going to be a big strike against you. So don't just think velocity. Of course, that's the beginning step here. But think consistency in that velocity, meaning you got to show it every time. So that's the challenge. If you're going to show them 95 the first time, you better show it 3 or 4 times after that. Not only that, they like a second pitch. So if you can get a good second pitch in there to complement it, good breaking ball, a good changeup, whatever it may be that really complements that fastball, and then you can, on top of that, you can locate it and you can be effective with it. This is the total package that they're looking for. And I truly believe, and D1 is gonna be pro. What a D1's looking for, it's a good chance pros are gonna be looking for the same thing. So a good thing now, what's going on today is that yes, guys are throwing harder. And it used to be, I'd say maybe 5 years ago, if you were throwing 95, 96, they didn't even care. If you showed that to them a couple times, they were gonna take you. Now it's getting more competitive, more guys are doing it. So of course you're gonna have to show it consistently, as high as you can. And then you're gonna have to show that second pitch. You're gonna have to show pitchability, and you're gonna have to show your ability to also bounce back, no injury. They also want to talk to you. You've got a good head on your shoulders. You're a smart kid. At the same time too, you've got out there and you've gotten some exposure. So here would be the process if you're working to do this. Get your ball speed first as high as you can, obviously into the 90s. Then from there, make it consistent. Then from there, go out and get with a travel team that goes to showcases where you can show yourself off. So where there are going to be D1 teams looking for you, and show your consistent velocity at that 90s range. Then show your second pitch. Then show your pitchability, your ability to locate and dominate on the mound. Then show your reliability, the fact that you can come back time and time again. As a relief pitcher, 2-3 days. As a starting pitcher, 6-7 days, and show that ability to recover. Then they're going to want to talk to you, and talking to you, have professionalism. Learn the right things to say. Talk to businessmen. Businessmen are really good at this, and how you should present yourself when talking to a coach at a high level and stuff like that. And then have for them in D1 college, have some decent grades. Show them that, hey, this is a double whammy for them. They get a good pitcher and they get someone who raises their team GPA, something like that as well. There's a lot of things you can lay out at the end, but let's start with velocity and get what they're looking for. Let's spark their attention with velocity, with the second pitch, with the ability, your pitch ability, with your consistency, and just down the line, and try to hit as many of them as you can. But velocity is the place to start, but that's definitely not the end of your arsenal, right? So what would you say?
The D1 schools, they're like, it's the highest level of competition without going pro. So they want to see stuff, man. Like, if you're a short guy, like, you got to have the stuff, and they want to see the velocity. They want to see velocity, like he's saying, but it's not just as much as it is velocity. Like, they all want to see velocity. Like, don't get it wrong. But like Brent's saying, like, you also have to be able to throw strikes with it. Like, I played JUCO baseball too, and we had a kid on our team who could throw 94 miles per hour. But did that like make him the best guy on our team? No, like he didn't even really get to play because he couldn't throw strikes with it. He had all this talent, but couldn't locate it. So just throwing hard isn't enough. Maybe if you're young, you can get their attention with throwing hard. But if you're older, you need to have the velocity. You need to be able to locate it. Like all Brent's saying, like you have to show them. You have to show them the stuff, man. Like just like position players have tools, pitchers have stuff. You got to show them that you have the stuff to compete at that level, and that's what they're really interested in.
Yeah, so of course there's going to be other great resources out there about being recruited. I think where you can waste your time is paying for like, oh, this is a great travel team, it's going to get me in a lot of showcases, and then at the same time you don't have all these things that we talked about, velocity, second pitch and all that. You're really wasting your money. The point is look at yourself like a product. Don't market yourself if you have a bad product. If I had a really bad product, I wouldn't be paying all this money to put it out there on the shelves somewhere and get exposure and knowing that it doesn't matter, it's not going to sell. For me personally, I was a mid-80s guy after the surgery, playing everywhere. I was in front of scouts all the time. And then the day I jumped into the low 90s and consistently sit there, all of a sudden everybody wants to talk to me. So, you will blend into the crowds until something stands out, and velocity is the best way to stand out, and then all the other things to have. But don't go out spending all your money on all these great teams and great showcases if you have a bad product. First, develop your product. That's the one thing guys say to me. Should I play this summer, or should I come down and train with you guys, or should I do the 3X programs? Or obviously I'm biased to that, but if say it wasn't my program, I'd still say the same thing. I'd say, well, do you throw 95? Or where do you want to play? Well, I want to play at this D1 school. Okay, do you throw 95? No. How hard do you throw? I throw 85. So you want to go and showcase 85 to all these D1 schools.
Especially if you're like 5'10", too.
Right, and you're 5, okay, you're short. There's another thing strike against you. Do you want to showcase that to D1 schools right now? And all of them go, no. Okay, well then why do you want to play? Your focus should be to off-season and develop through a program like 3X Pitching Velocity program. That should be all you care about, and you should just sit there until you get to where you want to be. Really brave of Adam Garcia is here. He's in his senior year in high school, and he has an opportunity to stay down here and train as opposed to, doing everything he would be doing in a travel team and in a high school back in Vegas where he's from. He's decided to stay and sit in his off-season train because his ball speed was 88. He knows he's got to be mid-90s to go where he wants, D1 schools, so that's what he's chosen to do. And I think that's very smart. It seems risky, and it could be, because if it doesn't work, you waste time. But if it works, it's the smartest thing you could have ever done, because it puts you to the level and developed your product to a level that is going to get attention. So when you put it out there, all of a sudden everybody pays attention. Mm-hmm. We've already done that. We somebody just easily walked over to LSU when he was throwing 93, and they freaked out, right? But Adam had a little bump in the road because it wasn't consistent, because we just got it up. So now he has to hold it consistently, and they're going to keep coming back and have interest. But other teams are going to come at him when he gets to where he wants to be, and he puts himself out in more showcases. So the point is, don't market yourself if you don't have a product. Don't put yourself in any travel team if you don't have a product. And I also say, too, how many games do you have to throw at mid-80s when you want to pitch at mid-90s one day? It's a different game. It's a different game to pitch at mid-80s to pitch at mid-90s. You throw completely different. So I don't even think you need that much experience in the mid-80s. I think you need the experience, or you need the time to get to the mid-90s and then go out and get all the experience you can at that level. But don't do it the other way around. Everybody's doing it the other way around. Just play, put myself out there. I'm garbage. It's not doing anything. So that shouldn't, you should take that time away and focus on the things that I laid out in this video, and then go out and put yourself out there, and you'll know it's going to happen if you accomplish that goal. All right, so great question. If you have any questions, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and at TopVelocity, #pitching tips. Ask your question, we answer it on the show. If you want to learn more about our 3X programs, go to TopVelocity.net. Check out all of our pitching articles, sign up for the 30 days at 5 miles per hour, check out the 3X Velocity program, check out the 3X Velocity camps, come down here and train with us. Also keep those questions coming so we can have a great show. You'll see us on the next show with your next question. So.
Voice.